writes the check. She writes the check, I don't.
Did you, did
So-
you write a check for $54,000?
I like the aerials.
I don't know, I don't write the check. You would have seen, if I wrote the check, you would have seen it in that account. In my
Unless it
account,
went
my check
to-
balance.
Well, he says you write a check, all he
I don't
writes
write a
is,
check.
well, what's the balance here?
That's the bank balance. So whatever was changed in the bank is being reported there.
So we didn't write, there was no checks in
The
there.
mic's not real sensitive.
And this would have been last month.
I don't know when
because we're a
Roy
month
pushes the button and we're
So we're
live or not.
We're not getting any big payment.
You're asking me when I don't have my computer in front of me to look it up. If you come in the office, I can show you the reports that what the clerk's office did. Or
If it was
if money was transferred from some other day to the money market. But I can't do that here because I don't have.
Everything's getting recorded now.
Okay, we're ready. You guys ready?
You know, all the jokes and the wisecracks and stuff.
Good evening. Welcome to the May 12th, 2026 regular board meeting for Green Lake Township. Thank you all for coming. If we could just take a moment, if we have any electronic devices. Motion by McDonald, second by West. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. This covers the minutes for April 14th, 26, the monthly bills, and the treasurer's. Next is the declaration of conflict of interest. Do we have any board members who have a conflict of interest with what's going to be discussed at tonight's meeting? We'll move on. Next is reports. We'll go ahead. Let's start with you, Officer Nofke, just in case you get called out.
That's deputy.
And I would also like to say that we do want to thank you for your service. I know that this is National Police Officers Week. So thank you for your service and thank you for everything that you're doing for our community.
I appreciate it. Obviously, the hot item right now in our area is traffic. The detour is going a lot better. Our main hot points are the Cozy Court, Tony Trail. So if there's any residents here tonight I've probably spent personally 10 hours in there running traffic enforcement. As of right now, I know it's a small hour percentage-wise. I am not getting any speeders. However, there is a massive influx of traffic through that neighborhood. I can't control or prevent people from going through a residential neighborhood unless there's obviously traffic control orders, etc. However, myself along with the state police, we have increased our patrols through a lot of the residential neighborhoods to help crack down on the speeding, especially Wildwood, Mud Lake, Griner Parkway, as well as just even the 31 construction zone. Like I said, traffic's been the main area of concern for me in the last month, so my hands have been pretty much in that quite a bit. That's really all I have. I know we're going to talk about some parking for the concerts at Interlochen coming up. I will have a play in that as well, and I just want the board to know if this gets approved, etc. My goal is compliance, not strictly immediate ticket enforcement, because we do draw a lot of people from out of the area. They may not be familiar with certain areas where they may or may not be able to park right now, and with construction going on. So I am making my schedule around Interlochen's concerts, especially at the very beginning, to help people when they try to park, like on a detour route, and guide them to other areas where they may be able to park instead. Anybody have any questions?
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in. Chief Case? We do have reports in our board packet from Chief Case and his crew. Are there any questions for Chief?
I do have a couple things. So Sunday will be our emergency services day down at Tom's from 11 to 2. So far we've got confirmations. Red Cross will be there. We'll obviously be there. Deputy Nofke and the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Department. We also have the Coast Guard is going to do a flyover for us, and Northflight Aeromed will be bringing their helicopter in. And then Arrive Alive with an agreement, I believe State Farm funded them to bring their driver simulator in. So that'll be here also, again, 11 to 2 on Sunday. And then wanted to recognize paramedic firefighter Jeff Lynn for completing his Officer 1 training and testing. So he is certified in the Fire Officer 1. So good job, Jeff. Also, Tony, one of our new firefighter EMTs, passed his firefighter 1 and 2, so we did attend his graduation on Tuesday for completing Tony Lackey for completing his firefighter 1 and 2 training. So he's now certified pending his test results, but I don't have any questions with as firefighter 1 and 2, as well as his EMT. So that's all I have.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anyone else out there, so we'll move on. So we have our first public comment of the evening. We ask that you please go up to the podium and state your name and address. You will get 3 minutes to say your piece. Direct it to the board, not to the audience. If there's anybody that would like to do public comment, please step forward. Okay.
Jill Coverdale, 5648 Renwood Way, Grand, Michigan. I have 2 suggestions when there's going to be discussion about agenda items tonight. The first one involves a tax account balance. In November, the board passed a resolution saying the tax account balance should not exceed $1,000 after settlement with the county. Currently, per the reports in the packet, it has over $37,000 in it as of April 30th. Per statute, it appears the settlement should have occurred by April 1st. So I think an explanation of why that balance exists should be discussed and provided. Secondly, the BSNA payment processor that's going to be discussed. I would just request that the board discuss and inquire as to whether the treasurer has thoroughly vetted that product, and if he has sat down with any township using it to see how it actually works and how it interfaces with the bank to make sure it's going to provide a better way to reconcile that bank account. And secondly, on that new processor, it would be helpful to know how the fees proposed by the BSNA product compare to the invoice cloud that we're currently using, because the taxpayers absorb that fee. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Roger Edgren, 5367 Bush Road in Interlaken. Just want to make everybody aware of recognition of one of our neighbors, Mr. Ed Dewey, who everybody knows, almost everybody. If you don't know him, you'll know him by the end of my 3 minutes here. 2 weeks ago, the Michigan Lakes and Streams Association named Ed Riparian of the Year. This is a big deal. This is a statewide organization that exists for the betterment of our lakes and streams. And Ed is kind of a low-key guy. I'm sure he's embarrassed right now that I'm even up here. He had no idea I was going to do this. But he's been involved with our Lake Board Association, the Green Lake and Duck Lake Association, for I think the last 13, 14 years he's been on our board. Served as president of the board for 8 or 9 years. His list of accomplishments in that role is lengthy. Really instrumental in our website development, got us to 501c3 status, which was good for the organization. Involved in our plant polls, weed identification, and he's always got his hand in something, getting something done. And I just want to make everybody aware of that tonight, and let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Great job. Good to see you. We haven't seen you in a while.
Good to see you. Dr. Mary Beth Hardwick. I'm at 5892 Sylvan Lane, Interlaken. I'm here to update you on the library. Really just two things. First is the Interlaken Public Library now has a foundation, and it is the first public library in the 10 counties of northwestern Michigan to have a foundation. So we are quite proud of that. We have not publicized it greatly, but despite that, we now have $100,000 in donations and grants, and we expect that to go up. So just so you know, you have the first public library in the entire northwestern part of Michigan to have a foundation. So
Great job.
Woodmere is watching us to see how to do it. Secondly, Jennifer Tommett, our library director, asked me to read to you a statement she made. And here it is. The Interlaken Public Library is grateful to Green Lake Township for its generous $6,000 grant supporting indoor recreation opportunities for our community. As a direct result of this support, the library now offers 3 weekly play groups in our community room. These gatherings provide structured opportunities for young children to learn and explore through play, while also creating meaningful connections among caregivers. In addition to the scheduled play groups, the library has now extended access to indoor recreation by making play equipment available for open use Tuesdays through Thursday afternoons. During these times, families come in and patrons are invited to utilize the space. They're encouraged to have spontaneous play, social interaction, and continued engagement. These offerings are especially valuable during northern Michigan's cold months and the unpredictable weather. They ensure that families have a welcoming, safe, and enriching indoor environment. The program supports early childhood development, promotes physical activity, and helps reduce social isolation for both children and parents. We sincerely appreciate Green Lake Township's investment in the well-being of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Anybody else? All righty. Oh, yep, Junior.
11711 US Highway 31. We'll call this story time with Greg. Some 40 years ago, in front of my house, the MDOT decided to grade down their hill, or my hill, to lessen the slope of the highway, causing my house to be 8 to 10 foot above the highway. Now granted, I'm some 20 to 30 feet from the edge of said highway. Now they're decided to widen this road, and instead of going to the north with it, they're going on both sides. I'm no structural engineer, but a sand hill I don't think is going to handle the vibration of said roadbed. My basement is literally the same height as the roadbed, and I'm 20 to 30 feet away from said highway. I think this is going to cause some very much structural damage to my house, which 2 years ago I warned MDOT about and asked them to either move their highway the other way or buy my house. They declined to do either. So I informed them that they may have to fix my house on a regular basis. Jake braking trucks down that hill, which isn't much, but just that grade is just enough that it rattles the whole house. I know this has nothing to do with you guys, but I want it on the record that when this starts happening to my house, that I have some recourse and people knew about it before it happened. I'm not opposed to the construction. I need this road fixed because I've had 3 dead people in my front yard in the past 10 years. I don't like that. So I'm not opposed to it, but it is going to damage my house. There's no way that that sand hill is going to hold up my house. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, let's move along then. Next on the agenda is postponed business, treasurer bank rec issue. Mr. Merrick.
So, good? Okay. Didn't want to interrupt. Bank recs are not done. I thought they'd be done. I found the majority of the issues. I am in contact with, not Unum, not UE, Plant Moran, to help me get the documentation to correct or finalize the differences. At the end of the year, I am $1,304.10 off out of a $24 million tax collection period. It's not a very large percentage, but it is $1,304.10, which is, I'm trying to get it perfect. I've been told that that is a immaterial amount, but to me it needs to be right. So I'm trying to get that corrected so it's all accounted for. It's there. I just have to get the documentation done to show where it's all at. As you flip through the bank recs, I highlighted the bottom with the unreconciled differences. That needs to be 0 or should be 0. You can see it bounces around from $4,800, $1,708, $1,900, a negative $4,625, which actually means there's more money in the bank than there is on the books, back to $1,747, $1,500, then a negative $15,000. I cried. Then I remembered that was a refunds that were being done at the end of the year for some changes that were done through the assessor's office, bringing it back down to $1,304.10. So I'm going to say it one more time. I feel like a broken record, but hopefully next month this will all be corrected. But I am now reaching out to Sherry. I am now reaching out to the accountants. There will be a bill for some of the services they're using, or that I'm using of them. You were asking when they're going to be charging us again. It's going to start, hopefully not 100 hours, but it's going to be more than 3. Just so you're aware, so you don't get caught off guard and wonder why. I have here for questions if you got any. Otherwise, hopefully I'll have it all resolved for the next meeting.
I got a question. So are you trying to track down something from a long, long time ago, or is this all current stuff that's not working?
This is all from starting in 2025. If you look, I was at 0 in August, and I started having some issues in September. Some of it was BSNA software. When I scanned and took a payment, it double credited their account. And then later on, I caught that and fixed it later on. So that's why you're seeing some of this happening. And some of it is just, it's not matching up dollar for dollar. The invoice cloud payments, it'll show I'm gonna speak in round numbers for convenience, a $10,000 payment in BS&A on the 15th of the month, and on the 17th, I'll get 2,000 of it. On the 18th, I'll get 3,500. On the 19th, I'll get 500, and then the rest will come in another. So I've got to match it all up, but there's other numbers coming in. Part of the reason to go to BS&A payments is BS&A payments show a deposit being made of that $2,000 on the 18th for the sales that were done on the day previous. And then when the next deposit is made, it shows the amount, so it matches up dollar for dollar of what's being done in the bank, to answer what Jill had said with BS&A payments. So it will greatly reduce the amount of effort and work that needs to be put into making the bank recs match up, eliminating some of the potential for this confusion to occur again.
And then you have part of her question too, if you want to answer. You have talked with other townships that most of the townships are utilizing this BS&A program?
The majority of the townships that utilize BS&A in the northern Michigan area are BS&A. So when I was at the conference, I did speak with several treasurers from not only Grand Traverse County, but from around the state of Michigan. No one had anything negative to say, other than that they felt that they were forced to switch over, kind of like we're going to see having to go to the cloud at some point here in the next probably 5 years.
Nobody had issues with their banking institutes?
No one reported anything negative of it other than the pressure they felt to switch over.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
And as far as money, the money's in the packet. It's 3% that we charge currently or that we invoice charges the residents for the service. For credit cards, $2 for a check, or $1 if it's an automatic payment through the check. I didn't match up to see how it matches up dollar for dollar for the rest. Or 29,000, 20-some thousand dollars that is for the IFT payment that I make to the state.
Yeah, so he can't take any money out until the county is settled. The county has been in touch with us and just let us know that they are running late, they're short-staffed, and they are having issues, and they hope to get everything completed within the next month.
They've been saying the same thing this treasurer has, but we should be set next month.
And it's not just us. They haven't settled with any township in Grand Traverse County. They're having major issues, so.
2 other key staff members also left that handled a lot of this for the treasurer in the last 5 months. So there is some struggles at the treasurer's office. A little bit bigger learning curve for our position than I believe he thought there was.
Okay, thank you so much. Sure. Okay, next we're going to move on to new business. No parking on J. Maddie. Are you going to do this? Or
I'd like to
Chief
start by
Case?
making a motion so we know what we're talking about. That's typically how the Roberts works. So I want to make a motion that I move that we direct the supervisor and emergency services director to sign a memorandum of understanding, or MOU, between Green Lake Township and Interlochen Center for the Arts to work with them on addressing the concerns of parking on J. Maddie during their events during the 2026 road construction season. The MOU shall be developed with the meeting of the minds between the township supervisor, emergency services director, community police officer, and representatives of the Interlochen Center for the Arts to address the traffic and parking for the events at the Interlochen Center for the Arts to reduce the issues for the emergency services vehicles getting through there and address safety for the public. And I have that typed up for you, Mary.
Anybody want to second
Support
that?
for discussion.
Okay.
And I do have some comments then for discussion. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
So I attended the meeting for the Grand Traverse County Road Commission. Due to the timing of our request for them to do a temporary traffic control order, they weren't able to do it because the required Michigan State Police traffic study will not be completed before the end of the 2026 construction season. So because they didn't have enough notice that we wanted to do this, they're not able to issue a traffic control order because the Michigan State Police need to be involved in order for them to enforce the traffic control order. The Board of Commissioners did pass a motion of support for us to have a temporary police power order and have their staff install the appropriate no parking signs at a cost of $175 per sign. I believe that number is correct. The township police power ordinance can be enforced by the supervisor or the community police officer, not the Michigan State Police. While it acts as a deterrence, compliance is likely to be limited. I appreciate the partnership that we've had over the last 5 years with the Interlochen Center for the Arts. With their partnership, compliance on this issue, compliance with the limited parking would be much more successful than a few signs and limited police enforcement. They have volunteers and staff that will be able to help address people parking there, and they said they will put some different things to detract or stop people from parking where the other officials have decided is appropriate, who have much more knowledge on this than I do. I'm grateful that the Interlochen Center for the Arts reached out to us so we could reach an amicable decision that helps everybody in the community, and we'll get the compliance that we're looking for during this construction season. I also want to recognize the efforts that have been taken so far by the Interlochen Center for the Arts to address safety for the pedestrians and helping the flow of traffic when they constructed that new tunnel under J. Maddie, which was a amazing feat to get it done in the small window of time that they had to do that. I believe that us working with the Interlochen Center for the Arts is the first step to address a potential safety issue concern during the events at the Interlochen Center for the Arts through the construction season, and not jumping to the massive cost prohibitive options that we may have. Also want to acknowledge that Chief Case has much more experience and knowledge than any of us on this board to what it takes for emergency service apparatus to navigate the roadway, and he supports this plan, or at least he did when we met with the ICA the other day. I want to make sure that we have some flexibility to adjust depending on what we see or learn as the season goes on. We may have, sitting here tonight, think this is a great idea to do this, but by having an MOU between the township and the ICA, we can adjust for the second concert, third concert, et cetera. And I support this because it seems to be what's the most reasonable plan when it comes to addressing the issue in a fiscally responsible method. I also want to speak to an elephant in the room. That is a speed limit in front of the Interlochen Center for the Arts. Speed limits in school zones are typically posted for 25 miles an hour for the safety of those at the school. A slower speed limit will also help address the safety concerns with vehicles parking along the side of the county road during the concert events. I'm not asking to do anything at that point about speed, but I think it's something that we as a board need to consider possibly at some point asking the road commission to do a speed study for that area. That's all I've got.
Okay. Chief Case, do you have anything to add to that before we vote?
There are two members from ICA here as well. If they could speak, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you guys want to come up and mark. We did meet last week, like Treasurer Merrick said, and we came up with an introductory plan and ran up other options. Ned's got an extensive background in public safety also. So we came up with what I think are reasonable plans. ICA has agreed to come up with some traffic control measures, and Deputy Nofke was in agreement on how to best try, again, not to be a ticketing and overly Yeah, labor-intensive.
It's Jiminy Cricket.
Labor-intensive ticketing and all that kind of enforcement rather than guide people where to park in the safest manner for pedestrians and traffic in general. So, yeah, I look forward to the board's approval to work with them on a good plan to be the safest for everything. So that's what I have, Mark.
I believe in the documents you have, sorry, I'm 3 feet shorter than Daryl.
So is everybody else.
I believe the areas of concern, the main thing is people crossing a certain road such as J. Matty being in the major detour route, as well as clear line of sights at intersections or the state park that has the crosswalk on the south side of the main entryway to ICA. Ensuring public safety of pedestrians, et cetera, and vehicle traffic being a main detour. We've taken everything into account, that when a lot of these are people that necessarily don't live out here or they come from all over. I actually have a lot of family that come up to these concerts from downstate, and they don't know where the good spots to park are. So that's what I have. I will turn it over to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Deputy Nofke and Chief Case. My name is Ned Hartwick. I'm the new Director of Safety at Interlochen. Originally from the area, moved back here in September and started with Interlochen then. I come from a significant background in law enforcement, and one of the roles in that work that I did was working on event planning and large events like we host at Interlochen. I just want to highlight again, everyone's talked about it, but this is a partnership and it's a balance to be struck. I recognize that. I fully value the need to prioritize emergency access and safety, not only for emergency vehicles that might be coming to our campus, but also to the rest of the community. And so certainly want to strike that balance there. And I think this plan affords us a great deal of flexibility as we're encountering a lot of unknown variables moving into this construction season. And I'll also highlight too that last year Interlochen had a very busy concert schedule. This year we are hosting, I believe, 11 fewer events already, and waiting on a couple more to finalize here. But I think the theme is balance, the varying interests that are out there, coming to some measure of flexibility and understanding that we're all working towards the same goal. So I think we've had a good conversation, and moving forward, this gives us some tools to address concerns that may change as the season and detour routes go on.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Well, you need to at least step up and introduce yourself so they all know who you are.
Yep, just to support Ned on his new job and everything. So my name is Eric Gray. I'm the Executive Director of Facilities and Maintenance at Interlochen, and so you can blame me for the headache that was the tunnel for the month, but I believe the solution will be a great improvement to our community and our students, staff, and visitors, and just anyone that's driving along J. Matty. So thank you for your patience in that troubling month of last year, but we're looking forward to the new tunnel and using it. And again, I'll second Ned with really appreciate the partnership, and with Andy and Marv and Chief Case and Officer Nofke.
Yeah, Len. There you go.
And so we'll work together, and I think that we'll come up with a great solution and get through this. So thank you.
Great. Thank you guys for coming tonight. Okay, we've got a motion on the floor. Does the board have any discussion amongst yourselves?
Could you repeat the question?
The motion is do you want the abbreviated version?
The short version is what?
For us to have a mutual memorandum of understanding between the Interlochen Center for the Arts and the township for the emergency services folks to create a plan and implement it with ICA.
With what, the supervisor?
Yep, and Nofke, not Lenton.
Anybody else? Dave?
So, we kind of started this a while ago, when, MDOT turned over the road to the county, and the signs were already there, and I've been going there for decades, And parking on the road is a new thing, it's not an old thing. I don't know why you're talking about balance. We don't allow Tom's customers to park on the street and get their groceries. We require them to have parking on their own property. So, you know, my goal is to have no parking on J. Matty whatsoever. It's not appropriate, it's a public road. It's a mess. I gotta dodge people because I live there. So I think this is a good step. I mean, the road commission just wouldn't right off the bat do no parking on J. Matty. And I understand that these intersections are more critical than the straightaways, but still, you know, my goal is eventually have no parking on the highway. That's not a cool thing. You know, Interlochen ought to be able to take care of its own patrons. So I'm in favor of a step in that direction since everything takes so long, the state police and the county and the road commission, whatever. But again, my goal is to have no parking be there, period, because it didn't used to be that way until like 5 years ago. People didn't park there. It's not a thing. So that's my
Okay.
comment.
All right, anyone else?
That would make sure people historically didn't use the park years ago, although, as I recall, I don't know this for a fact, but it seemed to me the township is the one that perpetrated all the no parking signs up and down the strip, which I personally do not like all the no parking signs. Again, in this instance here, during a concert, they pull over far enough to be fine, but up and down the highway, no parking, why? Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, anyone else? All right, we're gonna roll call it. And I'm first. Kramer, yes. Biganowski.
Yes.
Biondo. West.
Yes.
Merrick.
Yes.
And McDonald.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, Chief Case, you're up next. Hire paid on-call part-time employees. Thank you guys for coming.
So I've, as I stated in the letter, I have 4 new hires to bring on board as probationary members. Went through the process of interview, background checks, but
All those in, well, let's do a roll call. McDonald.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Merrick.
Yes.
Biondo. Biganowski. And Kramer, yes. Motion carries.
2 of them are going to be mad at me later.
Okay, Chief, next up is the old engine.
Yep, so we're at the point in time that we need to figure out the next course of action for our 2002 fire engine. So as I explained in the letter, that engine has had a terminal frame issue. It's part of the manufacturing process with that frame because it's sandwiched together and it leaves corrosion that has set into there. There's no repair for it at this point in time. That happened back in the rural fire days when Green Lake Township pulled out. Its sister engine was repaired by the manufacturer because it was still owned by rural. Green Lake had asked them and they denied the request for that. So it's got a frame issue. It's beyond the years of capacity for it to be a primary engine according to NFPA. So we have a very limited window of anybody that would be interested. We did have one Benzie County department that came and looked at it, but with the frame issue, they were not interested. So the 2 options, I think, is number 1 is scrap value. I went to Padnos today. They said it's worth $1,600 minus the cost of the tires. So we'd have to.
$1,600.
The other thing I did was last week at the Northwest Regional Fire Training Center meeting, I mentioned it to them, which it's been a topic of conversation with them and for a little while because we're at the point with the fire training center that we're soon to build a facility to do live burns constantly. Right now we're doing them in a modified burn trailer. But it's going to allow us to do more active live fire training. Part of that is that we have to have a second pumping apparatus there. We currently have one that was donated by Peninsula Township, I don't know, 10 years ago. And then any other time we want to have a live fire, we have to have a department bring in another pump. This would allow a second pump to be there so we could conduct it without departments having to bring another engine there. With the trade that, and this hadn't been done before, but it was kind of my idea of getting some market value back, is that we could hopefully come into agreements that they'd give us 2 future enrollments for students. So 2 students that we'd provide in the future, they would give them free classes for like EMT or Fire One, which would tally that right around somewhere over $5,000 in value. So they were in agreements that they would be interested in that engine. They're having a conversation with the fairgrounds to see if they could store it there, because we don't have any storage ability space for another engine at the RTC right now. So, and again, we're a member of the Regional Fire Training Center, so it would be back paying us a little bit with that. So those are the 2 options. The board has the ability, if you want me to post it and see if we can sell it. Its sister engine is in Williamsburg right now, and they're replacing that, and I believe they got $10,000 for theirs, which has a good frame. And again, we cannot sell ours knowing, without disclosing that it's got a frame issue, so. Go ahead, Dave.
Is it in service right now?
It is. And it passed this last DOT. It's currently up for another DOT, which it's passed them at this time, but again, the corrosion's not going away and can't be fixed, so.
Can you strip it of the non-frame, non-vehicle stuff, and the radios and?
Yeah, all that stuff's already been removed. So we're taking everything that we need for the new engine off, so all the hoses coming off. The extrication.
You just said it was.
No, it is until, we're gonna have our current engine, hopefully by the end of next week, put into service.
We just got the title on it last week.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's functional as an engine for us, but yeah.
So I'll make the motion.
I got a question there.
Yep.
Would there be any kind of liability if we give it to them and something happened because of this frame issue?
I mean, we can have them sign just a disclosure that it's being sold as is. I mean, like anybody else would if you're selling to another party. We just want to disclose it, and they know. I've had that discussion with them. But again, there it's a little different. It's not really going off campus other than to potentially get fuel. It's not, so it's kind of like staying on the farm, kind of, to say.
Any other questions? Paul?
So as I recall, there were 55, about 6 of these that were segregated into 3 groups.
Yep.
So the only one left in the county is Williamsburg.
There's 2 more. Its older sisters are in, well, one is in Paradise. They just sold the other one. So it's later models. I don't remember what years those were, maybe 6s and 7s was Paradise and Long Lake, and I think those both went. One just got replaced by Paradise with a pumper tanker, and the other one is still their primary, but it's later. Maybe it's a 2010. It's a little bit older. It was one of the last ones that were a lot. They were HMEs.
The other,
Yep.
so the other frames were repaired, or didn't have stuff the same problem, but ours wasn't.
I was told it was part of their dip process. So to try to corrosively treat those frames, because those frames are sandwiched together, and it allows a water gap in between, they dipped them in a solution that had treated them, and it wasn't a fail-safe. And ours and Whitewater's had the same problem. But like I said, Green Lake had pulled out of rural before that. And when I was told that when Green Lake went and asked the manufacturer to deal with it, they said, well, you're not the original owner, so we're not going to do that. So, yeah. It's not uncommon. We just didn't get, it was known with that dip process of what their anti-corrosive dip was, that it didn't work 100%. Yep.
Anyone else?
My motion would be, Plan A would be to donate it or swap it for some services from RTC. And Plan B is scrap it. So whatever success Chief has on Plan A, and then we'll have a Plan B. So that's my motion.
And maybe come back next month or whenever it is.
Well, apparently it's not gonna happen that fast, because the other one's not been swapped out.
Yeah, it should be available, and again, they're not in that big of a hurry, but that'll be the plan, is that we'll move it off to, if the board approves it, once we get it out of service, we'll stage it until we come back and say that's the deal.
I'll second that motion.
Why not just let us complete that right now if the RTC will take it? Why make it come back to the board?
Plan A is that if they accept it, that's what we'll do. If they won't accept it, Plan B is scrap it. So I don't want to come back here and address this again.
Okay.
That's both scenarios.
I thought I heard bring it back to the board, I'm sorry.
Okay. Roll call. Biganowski.
Yes.
Biondo. West.
Yes.
Merrick.
Yes.
McDonald. And Kramer, yes. Okay, and then next on the agenda is also Chief for my Mavis.
Yep, so what I have in front of you, all the departments in Grand Traverse County, so originally this board had agreed, Supervisor Radke signed this in 2018, the same resolution, same verbatim, but we didn't, the board authorized, because we were a new fire department in 2017, the board had authorized the supervisor to sign agreements. This was one of those, but it didn't have a board motion attached to it. So we are now mitigated to a different MABUS group. We pulled out a 3701 that was effective for this agreement, and we've created our own, which just covers Grand Traverse County. Our other MABUS group, 3701, got too big, in our opinions, to mitigate to. So verbatim, the verbiage is all the same. We just need a copy of the minutes and this resolution for us to provide to MABUS and incorporation for us to maintain our MABUS. And our Michigan MABUS, so MABUS is a mutual aid agreement that covers outside of our current neighbors. So if we were going to send, if we got requested and could send staff or vehicles to...
Marionette?
Yeah, last year our MABUS group sent 3 fire engines from the county all the way to the UP to fight a warehouse fire up there, and they spent a week up there. So this covers that mutual aid agreement, and the same thing for us. If we had a large event and we needed help from outside, these agreements handshake to accept what the terms are here. So that's what my MABUS is. It's a mutual aid that covers a larger region than just our neighbors.
So this does not affect any of the agreements that we have with our local Long Lake, inland?
No.
We're going to still have those regardless of what we do with this, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd appreciated it if he'd give us that explanation before I read it and tried to find what was being amended.
Yeah, well, and it was just because, again, we're pulling out a 3701 and creating our own, is that we needed to provide those documents again like they originally were in 2018. So it's just kind of more of a regulatory statutory thing, so we get our I's dotted and our T's crossed.
I'll make a motion we adopt resolution 5122026.3 as presented.
Okay, motion by Merrick, supported by McDonald. Any discussion? Merrick.
Yes.
Biondo.
Yes.
McDonald. Biganowski. Kramer, yes. And West.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, next is lot line adjustment approval. We do have our assessor, Mr. Muhas, here tonight to kind of help walk us through this. Is there any questions that the board has at this time?
I'd like to know if the applicant's here tonight.
Are the Eckerleys here tonight? No.
I am doing a lot of these a lot. This is not complete. The township portion will be complete, but the actual lot split is not complete with paperwork they provided. So I wanted to tell them, there's one more step they gotta do to make this work. The transfer parcel is not even surveyed, so I guess as a township, I'm comfortable doing is allowing that line to be moved for dispatching. It doesn't finish it.
That's probably something that maybe Assessor Muha could maybe pass on to them. And we'll also have it in the meeting minutes.
Could I ask that you just run us through the history of this a little bit?
You want to stand up to talk in the mic, Mr. Muha?
I mean, I'm sure sorry to catch up.
Yeah, because
I thought you were here for your fire.
He did too.
And we are not accepting that resignation letter.
So I have a question for Trustee Biganowski. In your experience, you're seeing the surveyors actually describe the transfer parcel in a platted lot line adjustment survey?
If they're gonna transfer that out,
Well, maybe it's, this situation is a little unique because Eckerly purchased the home and the adjacent lot, which were combined under one tax parcel ID number. Now he wants to sell the home off and keep the vacant lot. And the existing home had an encroachment, I believe, along its north line. Mitchell came out and did their survey, put the jog in the line to cure the encroachment. And that's why the application is before you tonight.
so that jog that's in that picture, the second picture, that's all the property that they're taking out of Lot 6?
Yes, and it's even described, or shown more clearly on the survey paperwork.
Right. And so they're gonna keep all of Lot 6 essentially, right?
Correct.
They'll have to uncombine 6 and 7.
And there is no lot consolidation agreement in place. They were just combined for property tax purposes.
Just property taxes. So then they're gonna have Lot 5 and have Lot 6, so now we have, are there houses on either one of the, well, 6 there wouldn't be, but is there a house on 5?
House on 5 and a house on 7,
Okay.
from memory.
So then 6 can be sold off and another house go in,
Theoretically, yes.
theoretically?
I think Eckerly's initial plan is to hold it.
Any other questions? Okay.
And I thought they would be here. They emailed today. I'm kind of surprised they didn't come.
So they're simply taking care of the encroachment, the house by jogging along.
Yes.
It's been done before, that's why I looked at it, I was thinking it's been done before, but it's not this lot.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion. If anybody would like.
I'll make the motion to approve the lot line adjustment of the platted lot as presented.
Second.
Motion by Biganowski, seconded by Biondo. Any discussion? Biondo.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Creamer, yes. Biganowski. Merrick.
Yes.
And McDonald.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right. Next on the agenda
Can we remove this from
is
the agenda?
a sad item on our agenda. Assessor Mr. William Muha has decided it's time for him to retire and has presented the board with his letter of resignation and retirement. We'd like to thank you for your service. We're going to miss you. This is definitely a hard one to vote on because we definitely don't want to lose you, but I'm happy that you are going on to this next journey in your life called retirement. And I hope that you will enjoy it. Does the board have any questions or anything for Mr. Muha?
You're a top-notch guy. I'm really sorry to see you leave, but I understand if you think you're fine.
Bill had mentioned, or Marv, in an email he sent, that Bill was indicated he'd be willing to be rehired as a seasonal part-time assistant to our new full-time hire, as was done with Mr. Lee Wilson, and then we had also had Isaac assisting with that. Do we need to do anything for
That's on the next item.
interviewing that? 'Cause-
That's on the next item
Okay.
for agenda. So the first thing we'll have to do is we will have to accept Mr. Muha's resignation letter.
No, we
As much as we don't want to do that.
You might after that lot.
We'll see what the results are. Okay.
Second.
Motion by Biondo, seconded by West. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I don't want to accept it, so I'm going to be a no.
Alrighty, we're going to roll call it just in honor of Mr. Muha. West,
Yes.
McDonald. What would happen if we all said no?
He'd still be getting paid and he wouldn't be.
Merrick,
No.
Biganowski.
It's not required to accept his resignation. I'll vote yes.
Alrighty, Biondo,
Very likely, yes.
and Kramer reluctantly yes too.
I'm the only one that wants to
So-
stick around, Bill, sorry.
Well, I know that he's gonna, as we move on to the next item on the agenda.
I told him I was voting no tonight, so.
So next item on the agenda, Supervisor Radke had had sent the board an email regarding the hiring committee to be put into place for Mr. Muha's position. He had recommended that the supervisor, the clerk, and the treasurer be the ones who are the hiring committee. So he asked me to bring it in front of the board for tonight to get board approval for us to go ahead. You can see also that we have advertised the job position. All of the resumes or letters and stuff are inquiring about the job are due into our office on May 15th. And then what we would like to do is proceed at that time as the committee to start interviewing the candidates and bring the information back to the board for board approval.
I'll make a motion that we appoint the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer to the hiring committee as the supervisor's recommendations.
All right, we have a motion by Merrick, supported by Biondo. Any discussion?
Discussion. Generally, I'd like to have a trustee on hiring committees instead of the three office folks, but I'm not looking for extra work. I can resist this.
I thought you were volunteering. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I see also on this email, Mr. Radke will ask the board to consider hiring Bill in a part-time seasonal capacity effective July 6th, so I'll make that motion.
Second.
Hang on. Wasn't prepared.
I know. Gotcha.
Okay, part-time. Okay, and that was by Merrick and seconded by West?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any discussion?
Well, we can find that
Are we setting salary?
it just says part-time seasonal. Is that a day thing, an hour thing?
When Mr. Muhai had help before, usually the individual would work June, July, August, and September, helping out with doing field work and assisting with other items that need to be done in the assessing office, and I'm assuming that's what we will be doing.
I think it's more defined. You have so many hours a week at so much salary, and this is kind of loosey-goosey, but you can
Uh-huh.
negotiate.
I think it changed, like, over Lee's period, as he began to go south, it's places that changed, Isaac, it's different, so it just depends on your schedule.
And I think some of it's going to depend on what the new hire is and how much training Bill needs to do for the new
Well,
assessor.
And what we could
Be
do,
flexible then.
because what we could
It
do
was,
is
I
do the
thought.
motion to allow to bring him back, and then what we can do as the hiring committee is we can bring back recommendation for salary and for hours, that type of thing, next month. Would the board be okay with that?
I was good with having the supervisor negotiate the terms and come back.
That's what I meant to say in my motion.
Okay,
More flexible.
Is it in the budget?
yes,
Yes.
Is
It
it
is.
Isaac's position that was in the budget
yes.
from before?
And Marv added that in this year's budget,
this year's budget.
anticipating Bill retiring sooner than later.
Okay.
Okay, I like, yeah, the way Dave worded it.
You didn't make it, Merrick did.
I'll make them, I'm going to clarify my motion is to hire Bill on a part-time seasonal capacity with the supervisor and Mr. Muha negotiating the terms
I like that.
within our budget. We've got a budget already set up so that.
Okay. Are we?
Sherry
No,
did.
Sherry did. Are you okay with the change?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Are we good now? Got it. All right.
Thanks for that, David.
This is why Supervisor Radke shouldn't be gone. Okay,
We warned him.
we're gonna roll call this one. Merrick,
Yes.
Biondo,
Yes.
McDonald, Biganowski, Kramer, yes, and West.
Yes.
And Marv did say minimum wage, right?
Motion carries. All right, next on the agenda is charitable gaming license request. And I believe, did you want to speak, or are you just here to hear what the board has to say? Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. So let's have you come up to the podium and the board can address it. And just to kind of inform the board, they're doing a golf outing at Bradley's, and they would like to do a raffle. I don't know if she's gonna have enough time to get this in and have the state approve it, but we're gonna try.
Maybe.
My only question is, you guys are an Oakland County entity, they don't make you do all, fill us out in Oakland County, and have that county do it, why does the Green Lake Township Board? Is it the locale? I mean, I'm not super up on.
So, according to the information that we received, was that we could do it in Oakland County, which is where the founder lives, or we could, because it's just this one time, that we could do it in Green Lake Township if they would approve it.
Yeah, so the new state law is that the township that you're holding the raffle in has to actually approve the licensing process. So that's why we're here tonight.
And this is a resolution we got to adopt, is that correct?
Correct.
I'll make a motion we adopt resolution 05122026.1.
Okay.
Can we make
Mo-
those shorter?
Motion by Merrick, supported by McDonald. Is there any discussion on the motion? McDonald?
Just want to add that I did confirm that they are a nonprofit in good standing, created in 2025, domestic nonprofit corporation, and the agent is Benjamin Jones.
Thank you.
Is who?
Benjamin Jones.
Oh, that's who's on all the paperwork. What's the date of the event?
June the 6th.
Oh, that's getting here soon.
Yeah, we're gonna bust it out and get her the information so that we can try and get through it. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, and she needs to have a roll call vote, so we're gonna roll call it. Biondo?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Kramer, yes. Biganowski? Merrick?
Yes.
And McDonald?
Yes.
All righty.
Can I, who made the motion?
I did.
Second. You made it,
Merrick and McDonald.
and McDonald?
So thank you for coming. So what I'll do is, we'll get the minutes typed up, and I'll get the rest of the motion stuff done on the paperwork for you, and then I will email it. Well, I'm going to try and get it to you yet this week so that you can go ahead and follow through.
Okay, great.
Alrighty.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is Mr. Merrick, invoice cloud to BSNA.
Well, as we've talked about already, Invoice Cloud is probably going to be gone at some point in the near future due to some strife between the two organizations, BSNA and Invoice Cloud. Also, the bank reconciliation is much more difficult with Invoice Cloud than we were sold. I had spoke with several other treasurers at the recent conference in the Grand Traverse Resort, and they all seem to be fairly happy with BSNA payments and how it interacts with its own software, making the reconciliation and everything else much easier. So I would make a motion that we switch from Invoice Cloud to BSNA payments and authorize the supervisor to sign any of the contracts.
I'll second. Okay, discussion?
Is Invoice Cloud a separate vendor not related to BSA currently?
That is correct.
And what does each of the software packages cost the township annually?
I believe the answer is 0, if there's any costs in the package. When I talked to the sales rep from BSNA Payments, he said it costs the township nothing. The end user who is receiving the benefits of the ability to make online payments or utilize credit cards will be charged the fees.
Front loaded to the user, and we just get a check or a transfer?
ACH, electronic transfer.
ACH
Both
deposit.
work that way, Invoice Cloud work that way too?
Invoice Cloud makes a direct payment into the township through 3 or 4 different payments based upon the credit card or electronic check payments that they receive. So it doesn't come through as one, but it shows up on our statement as one payment.
And we do make a monthly payment.
And we do pay them, I think it's $104, just over $100 to be.
BSNA payments a new module, or has it been around?
BSNA payments is something fairly new. I want to say 2 years, but I'm not positive on that. That's simply a guess sitting here tonight.
And it will be, we are charged yearly fees on each of the modules that we utilize. And he is true when he says that he won't be charged for this part of it. It will be included in his reseating module, so that, you know, they'll just turn it on for him. He currently just doesn't have it. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what I've been told. It's magic computer accounting stuff.
Anybody else? All right, let's roll call it. McDonald.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Merrick.
Yes.
Biondo.
Yes.
Biganowski.
Yes.
And Kramer says yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Before we leave that, where you were talking about nobody's fees and that, where I'm looking at it, the township will have fees on it.
He'll have, it'll be part, he has an annual fee that's on his module that he utilizes. It'll be part of that module fee that we pay.
Well, where I'm looking is, it says credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, American Express, absorbed by the municipality. So we'll absorb at least 50 cents, and then we absorb 2.8%. So is that
No.
another fee?
The board voted that the residents are responsible for the credit card fees, that the
was the
township
old
is
way.
not.
That was the old way. So on this new way,
Well,
it says,
They,
It's the one right above that, the paragraph right above that, Sherry, where it's passed through to payer.
right, that's what 2.95 is going to be passed through to them, and then it says passed through to the municipality, it'll be 2.8.
That would be if we chose to absorb it.
right.
We're making the taxpayers pay
The board has a standing motion.
There's 2 different ways they can be set up. One is the
Okay.
township pays it, and one is the end user pays it. The township's policy has been that the end user pays it.
Yep.
I was confused for a second what you were looking at, sorry.
Okay, anything else? All right, next on the agenda is police power ordinance, data centers, and water extractors. Mr. McDonald, I know you're kind of involved. I would like to get, I see that Chairman of the Planning Commission, Mr. Schwarm is here too, so I'd like to hear from you and I'd like to hear from him so we kind of get a idea what's going on.
Okay, yeah, I've submitted this proposed moratorium because of all the things I've been reading in the news and various reports I've reviewed. The data centers have a lot of serious issues to be considered, and our current zoning ordinance is not set up to deal with them. We allow data centers as permitted uses in long time ago when the data centers were very small. Now they are gargantuan. Theoretically, they could set up a very large one at either the Kearns or at our golf course. Sometimes they'll buy a piece of property that's not in an approved district and then ask for a zoning change, and then if you say no, then they'll sue you. And a lot of times it backs down when it happens for various reasons, but that to happen, we want to have regulations in place. You know, if we're forced by court order decision to agree to let them in, we need to get regulations in place to try and minimize the bad effects, because we're not allowed to bar them entirely. If that's what we want to do. We're not allowed to do that in the law. So this moratorium would do that. I left it blank for how long. I guess my suggestion would be 1 year, because it's anticipated to be somewhat complicated and labor-intensive undertaking to draw up these proposed regulations and agree on them and get it through the planning commission and public hearings. By the time it's all said and done, I think 6 months would be too tight of a time frame, and we might have to extend it. This is drafted, so in case you don't get it done in a year, we could extend it, but legally you don't want to keep it open-ended. But I guess if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Pat, is this ordinance in our packet something you drafted or something our legal counsel drafted?
This is funny question. Our legal counsel, from what I've heard, drafted called a skeleton ordinance, or model ordinance. So I incorporated almost all of their model ordinance and then added some things to it. So that's, I guess, that answers the question.
So this is, you've modified what our legal counsel presented to us, and that's what's in the board packet, or does the board packet have what came from our legal counsel?
They didn't submit it directly to us. They created it and released it to the public, and we got a hold of a copy, and that's what I used.
Green Lake attorney happens to be the MTA's attorney, so MTA's attorney made a model ordinance for 1,200 townships in Michigan.
So this is off of your computer printer, not off of our attorney's email?
Correct.
Hmm.
I did submit this to our attorney a week ago and asked them to let me know if there were any red flags, and I did not hear anything back from them. I do have a checklist from our attorneys are Mika Myers, right?
No.
No, they're not? No.
You went to the wrong law firm, Pat.
Okay.
So Pat and I have batted this.
Pat
around.
has, he's got the attorney because I gave it to him.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I submitted our
Thal.
ordinance to the person you referred to.
Yeah, Michael Bila.
No.
So Pat and I batted this around a little bit, and I didn't see anything wrong with the MTA's ordinance, which was drafted by our attorney. And actually, I think Pat kind of wrecked it. So I can't vote for it as it is. I like the MTA version the way it was. I thought it was complete. Now, Pat did mention that data processing is a permitted use, and the language says, we can't accept applications. He thinks that if it's permitted use, there won't be an application, but I don't agree with that. So I'm gonna vote no, because I think it's been tainted from what the MTA had started. So I support the MTA version.
I'd like to hear what the planning commission may have answers on
Yep.
what we're talking about, if that's okay with the chair.
Please state your name and address, please.
Colin Schwarm, Chairperson of the Planning Commission, 8755 US 31 South.
You can pick the up, you don't have to lean over, it's okay.
There you go.
So this was first presented to the board in our last meeting, and we recommended that it be sent to this board for consideration the police power ordinance. If it's modified, then that's not the one that we recommended to this board. I would just like to state that I feel like we're diving into this, and I fully agree that we should for the public safety and health and everything else, but that maybe we ought to consider the direction that we're gonna head rather than just slap an ordinance out there and say, you know, nothing can be done and we're gonna hammer this through. I think we ought to at least have a moratorium in effect that everybody agrees with, and that we're going to take into consideration the particular, you know, I believe it should go in the industrial zoning, but that I'm one person out of a board, so, you know, our board would like a little bit of direction from this board to, you know, so we can be productive in what we're doing. Once the clock starts ticking, then there are public, you know, hearings that have to be done. There's a lot of work that has to be done. So I would prefer that we're not just diving in without knowing where we're going with it. So that's all I have to say. Questions for me?
Well, you wouldn't know, Dave would know the answer, because I didn't know this was that Pat had changed it. What has Pat changed from the original that MTA put out?
He took out the word data center from like 6 places, and he took out anything that had to do with an application or process of any application.
I did take the phrase data center out, I don't know whether 6 times, but it's also still in there 6 times. But I just, instead of repeating it over and over and over again, you know, it's in there enough times where they're gonna know what we're talking about.
I do.
And he's a lawyer.
I guess as far as the application language, I mean, I do have a proposed sentence we could add back in there to specifically cover the application language.
If this is not what came from our attorneys, I'm not going to support it, because they're going to be the ones defending us in court if something happens, and I want to make sure that we're following a document that's been presented to us by our law firm, who will be the ones defending us. You may be the best attorney in the country, Pat, but you're not representing the township, so that concerns me.
Well, neither one of the so-called ordinances that are out there were submitted to us by our attorneys. And there's a high, you know, if somebody submits an application before we pass a moratorium, then we're screwed, basically.
Nice, Colin.
Mhm. Can you speak into your mic?
Thank you, Colin, for your chairing the planning commission.
Thank you.
Would you support, you know, a moratorium to give us 6 months to kind of work around the edge of this? Come up with an industrial district or wherever?
I totally support the moratorium. I just want us to pick the moratorium that is, you know, what the township should be picking. You know, there's a lot of questions here and a lot of ways to handle this and go around it, but we all need to be on the same page with it. I just feel like it all got dumped in everybody's lap, and we can all get on the internet and we can read about all the bad things that happens and all of that, but, you know, that's, at the end of the day, we are changing our ordinance, and it affects everybody. So I just think that we ought to make sure we're not, you know, going about it in an unorganized fashion. Because like I say, once the moratorium's in place, it's, you know, the clock's ticking. So we need to know where we're going to go with it so that we can be effective and efficient about it.
I'm going
There's some model ordinances, you know, out there, and we already allow it, it looks like 4 places in zoning now, although probably some are not real appropriate given the means of the size that some of these can get. Public water is over there by industrial, Jordan's got some public water.
Yeah, these things use a ton of water for cooling. I mean, we have a lot of the things that they would like. We don't really have the infrastructure to support the kind of power needs that it takes. So, you know, we might have a lot of water for them, and there might be room in the industrial if Go-Go Squeeze or Matern were to say, hey, we want to sell a big chunk of property here, but, you know, they don't have the power capacity to even begin to run something like that. So we need to determine what we consider a data center size, you know, by the amount of energy that they use, the amount of water that they use, and their effects on noise pollution, all of that. So
I mean, there's already a bunch of data centers in the township. We
That's
have
it.
one at the township office, ICA has some,
that room
Matern
right
has
there,
some.
that room right there is a data center.
Exactly, so
we need to have some kind of
we need to get some definitions and stuff put together.
Yeah.
Because if we say no data centers and our data center, our server goes down, we can't replace our data center, our server. So we need to make sure that the ordinance that police power ordinance that we put in place is appropriate for that sake, because there's confusion on what our attorney supported. I'm going to make a motion that we postpone this until next month. We have a full board. We can get hearing from our attorneys on what is appropriate. I don't want to adopt a police power ordinance that has holes in it that a lawyer paid millions of dollars from these data centers can eat up, and then we're lost, and we'll lose a lawsuit. So for that, I'm going to make a motion, we postpone this until next month, and we get a police power ordinance from our law firm that we look at adopting, not something from a board member, regardless of how skilled of an attorney they are.
I'll support that. I want to make the comment. This is a 2.5-page ordinance done by the MTA attorneys. They haven't done the model actual ordinance that Colin would be working on yet, but they are working on one. But this is the stopgap. My guess, this came out 2 months ago, or a month and a half. My guess is in a month from now, there'll be 500 townships in this state that have this. So I want to be in that group so we can defend it collectively and not have some flyer that, oh, Green Lake has one and 3 different words that are different than ours. Let's go get Green Lake. So I want the one MTA did, like Andy said.
I also think that we need to, next month, have some direction for the planning commission on what we as a board would kind of like to have them do, because I'd hate to have them put a whole bunch of work into it. They come back to us and say, we want only an agriculture, and the board goes, agriculture? That makes 0 sense. So I think we should at least be in the same book, if not the same chapter, on what direction we want the planning commission to work, so we don't undermine their efforts, because they've done some.
It's going to take a lot of study because there's a lot of things in this one topic. Yeah, we could give them direction.
I think we should put them at least in the same book we're in, maybe not the same page.
Well, we all need to think about, we need to define, you know, what we consider a data center too, because like Mr. Swarm said, there's all different sizes, so we'll have to kind of give them a direction on that as well.
Our definition of data processing in this ordinance pre-exists what a data center is. So, you know, that closet, loosely it's a data center, but you know, the minute we say a data center has to be over 5 megawatts, all the little ones are 5. I mean, that's all I need to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else?
Is
Yes.
there approval of my motion?
Should we, big,
Okay, thanks.
should we postpone it until next month? Because we've already postponed it to this month. Should we have a special meeting just to get a moratorium in place?
What is the risk of somebody in the next 30 days sliding in here? If Pat thinks that's realistic, then after this motion, we should do a motion saying that we charge our attorneys to modify theirs to Green Lake Township, and we authorize signing. We can do that today.
Didn't we last month determine that there's somebody already looking here?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Somebody has applied here before, and then they went away
Right.
across from the golf course.
They left?
Mm-hmm.
But we can, if we were to adopt the one I drafted, we can replace the whole thing next month. I mean, we passed something last month that said Myra's supposed to get hold of our attorneys to get something for us. That didn't happen. So instead of just leaving ourselves open, I mean, we could either pass one I drafted tonight, or if it'll get the job done, let's pass the model, the old model ordinance. There's a couple of holes that might need to be filled in. Let's get something in place tonight, because it's police bar ordinance is very easy for us. Next month, like I said, we could change it, toss the whole thing out, whatever, but at least it's there in place for some protection in case somebody comes walking in and, you know.
Okay,
I
let's
agree
let,
with-
Jason would like to speak, our zoning administrator. Let's hear what he has to say.
Good evening. Just a couple things to clarify, if you guys are going to vote on anything. The email that I got from our attorney, Michael Bila, has the police power ordinance, and I believe, although I haven't seen the one that Mr. McDonald has, but I believe that's the one he's have. It's my understanding that the board has the option to pass a moratorium on a police power ordinance, moratorium. And then the other is a zoning ordinance that is also, looks very similar in the documents, but that's, has to be passed through the planning commission and then recommended to the township board.
Yeah.
You have a choice of the moratorium being zoning related or police power related. And
Okay.
Barbara and Pat all said, no, we're gonna go police power. And that-
The email that,
the zoning ordinance.
so the email that I have from Michael Bila, in my hand right here, says, attached are 2 moratoriums. One is a zoning and one is a police power. You need to adopt both to make this an airtight moratorium.
That's not correct.
But I'm just reading the, I'm not an attorney. I don't plan on being
And
an
Dave's
attorney.
not our attorney.
Did you stay at Holiday Inn Express last night?
No.
Oh.
I just want to share this, you guys do as you may, because we're going to vote on something, but I just want to get this. It says, there's 2 moratorium ordinances, one for zoning and one for police power. You need to adopt both to make this airtight. I've also spoke to Mr. Radke about that on the process, and it was my understanding that that's what we were doing, was looking.
Only the zoning part, if we're using a zoning ordinance to regulate. So some townships need to adopt both, some don't. And then, yeah, to adopt the zoning ordinance, we need publication 30 days in advance. It doesn't go into effect until so many days, so that's a whole different ballgame.
But he's asking for a zoning, he's asking for a zoning moratorium. That's what he has, publications on a moratorium and a police power moratorium.
Yeah, both the moratoriums, one's under the police powers, one's pursuant to
And one's under zoning.
zoning.
Right.
Zoning one's gonna take 2 or 3 months. So
And that's the one that goes to
We could decide
planning.
as a strategy to do, actually, I think it might be a good idea to go ahead and do a moratorium under the zoning ordinance also. But that's gonna take, you don't have to be done at the same time, that's gonna take 2 or 3, 4 months. So we could work on that, but we need to get something in place as soon as possible if we wanna have any control over if someone decides to come in here.
Well, and the other issue, I guess the other issue, and I'll just state it because it came in the email and I'm just repeating this, is it says that the recommendation for our attorney is to not pass a moratorium to be in effect more than 6 months. So not to ask for a 12-month,
The
and,
MT ordinance has 12 months.
right. But
Hence why I would like a little clarification before, dive into this
Right.
thing, because there's a whole lot of he said, they said.
Microphone.
He said. So,
We have people listening at home.
So I just wanted, because I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that the information that I presented to the planning commission, both of these moratoriums, were what I received from our attorney, Michael Bila, in an email when I had reached out to him asking him which are the ones from the Michigan Township Association, is my understanding. So that's where they came from, where they were derived from, and those were what our attorney had recommended.
Thank you.
When did you get that email?
Wednesday, April 1st at 2:28 PM.
April 1st?
Wednesday, April 1st.
These have been on MTA's website, like I said, for 2 months, with the same commentary he just read. If you can do the zoning, you can do the police power, you can do both, depending on how you plan on doing this in the future.
So I guess we just
Let me-
need to make a decision if you want to do a special meeting and continue with this, or if you would like to, Dave had recommended, we could postpone, well, you had said what, that we could make an approval for the supervisor to sign one made up by the,
And that's a little hinky. because
but I
we
don't
have
like
a draft one.
I don't like doing that because you're not seeing it in front of you.
MTA is actually for a charter township, it needs to be modified, but Pat's idea of a passing kids.
Pat is good.
And then shuffling around next month and swapping it out for a different version does protect us in the next 30 days.
Yes.
But again, Pat has sent me 3 different versions. I don't know what version he's got in front of him. Or gave to the board.
I'm just saying you want, that's the same one.
Yeah.
I guess what
Pat's
is,
is a
what does
good
everybody
idea.
feel, Paul?
I would agree that as soon as passed, and we'll work.
It would actually protect us, so we wouldn't have to have a special meeting. We could go ahead, gather information, bring it back to the June board meeting.
Right.
Support that motion.
Okay.
Pat's in the blanket that says when it can expire.
6 months.
It does, okay, so you gotta pick a date, you think 6 months?
I'd go with 12 too.
Courts have upheld 12.
Our attorney has recommended 6 months. I'll vote no anything other than 6
Yeah,
months.
I would say let's do 6 months, because if we are going to make changes at next month's board meeting,
Andy, why did you say your attorney recommended 6 months?
Because that's what the email our zoning administrator read.
Ordinance that says 12 months. This is what he drafted.
That's what was presented to MTA, that to represent our township.
MTA, this came straight from MTA.
I just listened to the words that came out of our zoning administrator's mouth as he read the email from our law firm to him, and it said specifically 6 months. Therefore,
Yes.
and that our law firm's recommendation was 6 months. That's what I will agree to. If you don't need my vote, you don't need my vote, but I'm not going to go 12.
I have to go with Dave on 12.
You have 4 for 12.
Yeah,
Instead, it can all be changed next month.
that's right.
well, because that's why I'm questioning why we need to go 12 if we think it's going to be changed
We
next
could go
month.
30 days, we're going to change it next month.
And it's complicated, it's gotta go to the planning commission, it's gotta come here.
I'm glad we pay an attorney money.
And, I haven't heard from them for a month, and, it's gonna take a lot of work on part of the zoning administrator.
Do we have a motion? I call the question.
I guess Kramer and Biondo made the motion.
That was 12 months.
12 months. Okay. Any other discussion? All right. West,
Yes.
McDonald, Merrick,
No, because we're going against our attorney's recommendations.
Biganowski, Biondo,
Yes.
and Kramer, yes. Okay.
Public will say.
Somebody's got to write the date in 12 months from today complete.
Yep, I will do that.
We just passed an ordinance, we have to have ordinance number, so you do that on the fly right now?
It's on
It's
there.
got one
Yeah.
on there.
512202.6.2.
Yep. All right, so next on the agenda is Travers Transportation Coordinating Initiative Supportive Letter. Mr. Merrick?
So TTCI, which is we're part of, is asked for a letter, I can't find it in my packet right now, of support for one of their initiatives they're doing. Crap.
It's at the very end.
But I make a motion, we authorize supervisor to sign the letter of support for the included letter from TTCI.
Second.
Okay,
I didn't understand it.
Come on, Safe Streets.
They're applying for grants.
They want to get money for safe streets, sidewalks, bridges.
Right, just to talk about it. There was nothing specific that they were going to do. They're just getting money so they can have like a research group or something.
They're a regional planning organization for transportation as part of the metropolitan planning unit that we're part of. So to fund it, we could either pay or they can get grants. That's the two, or then they also get money through the state urban planning, whatever. So they're trying to get additional funding to do these studies so that they can get funding to pay for the variety of projects they're trying to.
What are the
put through.
projects they're doing? All I could gather out of it is they were trying to get grants and fundings for probably a study again,
Mhm.
just like the road around Traverse City. What are they going to do? What are they looking for?
Sherry, it's a little fluffy, okay? It's just
It's real fluffy.
It's a feel-good supporting them.
Fluffy, we support whatever you
Do we support our partners or not is what the letter is basically.
Well, they're gonna draft a plan. I think if they get enough money, depending on what size of the grant they get, if they get the grant. Basically, safety, regional traffic safety plan.
Maybe no parking on J. Matty, Dave.
Okay, so we have a motion by Merrick, supported by McDonald. Any other discussion? All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, so next on the agenda, Sherry, you've had questions on the minutes?
Yeah. Over on the approval of the agenda on page 1, after the pledge, this data center thing was, we were trying to bring it up last month. Didn't Andy say no? Didn't he say he didn't want it on the agenda because he doesn't like it when we come to the board meeting and then throw something on the agenda?
That is not correct. I said I would be voting no on the object or on the issue because I don't like last-minute things that the public are not aware of when we're going to be making a decision that affects the public.
But it was all right to put it on the agenda?
Absolutely.
Correct.
Okay, that was my question on it.
Okay, anything else? Okay, moving on.
No,
So-
we have to pass the minutes.
Oh,
Since we pulled it open, on the Boom Boom Club request, there's
What
one
page?
word that needs to be changed, I think, and now I can't find it. Mary Jo, where was it? Requesting the same thing by the library, it should be of the library. We wanted the same requirements for the money that we give in the contract for services to the library. The library didn't ask us for it. So we just need to change the word by to of, or vice versa, please.
Of the library.
oh, so instead of by, do of?
Correct. With that, I'll make the motion we adopt or accept the minutes as modified.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next on the agenda, discussion. We have trail match discussion by Pat McDonald.
Thank you. Yeah, as the EDA passed the motion to match up to $40,000 for work on the section of the trail from the Township Park to Vagabond. We got 3 bids. This was for development of the trail, but not the paving of the trail. And the bids range, they're in the packet. There's 3 of them, one below 70,000, one sort of in the middle, and one in the high 70,000. And then just, I requested what the difference would be if we actually paid for it to be paved. And we got 1 bid so far on that, but it's also in the packet, which would only be, well, it'd be 40,000 more, but if it were being split by the township and the GDA, it would just be 20,000 more to get the trail paved. So I just, and this also is falling right into our, well, Mara brought up the fact that there was not enough money in the existing budget for Parks and Rec to cover the request. Didn't verify that, but took his word for it. So I requested this be moved to discussion, just so I could run it past everybody and with the budget review and decisions coming up. I thought that maybe the board could mull things over, look at our last year's budget or next year's budget. And we do have, assuming we have a pretty good chunk of change in our general fund and might have a good chunk of change in our capital improvement fund, unless that's done on something.
Are you on the DDA board, Pat?
Correct.
What do they have for a fund balance right now?
A little over 300,000, I think.
Okay. Are we not working with the Army Corps of Engineers to get the trail gravel, which would be ADA compliant, from the park to almost the river or the creek for like $30,000?
We were, and we are continuing to work with them, but it turned out that they need studies, like historical studies concerning archaeology and.
So it's delaying that a little bit, and we can get a small section done for the same thing, we get the whole section done, but instead of being a year or two, we're gonna get it done this summer, is that what, the?
Yeah, I guess the plan was to move ahead with some things we can't afford, the plan was to get estimates for companies that do those kind of studies, and then hire them to do the studies, so those portions of the trail that would be remaining, like the bridge, the whole entire state park section, so it would be done for those sections. And then
This is 3,200 feet, goes from where to where?
It's the part that was done.
Johnson Park to back line.
It's the part that was taken care of last year. They cut the trees out and they
AJ's.
AJ's prepped it. I couldn't support spending this kind of money to get a fraction of what we had when the Parks and Rec Committee has been actively working on getting grants and stuff through and working with the Army Corps of Engineers to get much more done for much less. And we're pulling the rug under the feet of the God, what's her name?
Gene Perkins?
Gene Perkins have been working really hard to get the Army Corps to do this. It's not, in my mind, a very fiscally responsible thing to do, to spend this kind of money for a small part. I'm not opposed to our partners paying for it if they want to bump this up quicker, especially considering they got $300,000, you said, in their budget or in their fund balance right now.
Well, it's not in the DDA district. The DDA district ends between Diamond Park Road and the tunnel.
Right, but you just said they offered to pay half of it, or up to $40,000, so it's either an authorized expense for them or not.
So
There's no right line authorized expense, but generally, DDAs are supposed to concentrate on fixing up the district from which they're getting the tax money.
Mhm.
Fix that district ends just before the tunnel.
I think the only concern I have is the fact that we prepared a pretty slim budget this year because we're not sure of how much money we're going to be receiving from the state of Michigan because of cuts. We've got, also we have to think about the fact that we have a millage that's going to be 2 millages that are on the ballot in August. We have to think, what if they don't pass? Because that has happened. Paul and I have been through that before. And I know that this extra expense was not budgeted in our current budget. So I don't know at this point if it's a great idea to move ahead with that. I'd be a little concerned with spending that extra money until we know for sure where we're going to be financially with the state of Michigan. And there's other proposals that are supposed to be on the ballot too that they're trying to get on for no taxes and et cetera, et cetera. And you said you don't think that this is a project that the DDA would be able to step up and pay for if they felt that this needed to be done right away?
You mean pay the entire thing?
Yeah.
Not right away, but eventually they might be willing to pay for the whole thing, but.
Be better than a Christmas light display that doesn't work.
Have we, because I'm not privy to the DDA. I see the minutes, but are you pretty much?
There's some problems kind of percolating with the state park. They're doing a master plan, and even though we already have an operating agreement with them for the trail, I guess I can't say it's guaranteed that they're gonna include the trail in their master plan. If they include that, it sort of breaks the trail in half a little bit, so.
So are you guys pretty much done with utilizing the National Guard?
No, we're gonna, sounds like Mr. Merrick has volunteered to pay for the study, so that's encouraging.
Do we know how much a study is? Have you guys looked into that?
It's been at least 30 days prior, they said, we can get one done in 30 days. Apparently, no one's lifted a finger to do it.
Oh, we did get a quote for $10,000.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No, because we already paid them 100,000.
Right. I guess, Paul, what are your thoughts?
So what were you going for on these estimates tonight?
Well, I just wanted to, I'm not asking for any action, discussion. Just something for everyone's mind as we look at the budget and our fund balances here in the next month while we're approving next year's budget. Just see if the board would be interested in, I'm thinking, you know, maybe getting it paid, would be $60,000 max with the DEA. I guess the one thing I'd ask for the board to keep in mind is if we wanted to get that done.
Okay.
What happens if the park doesn't, state park doesn't let you have it as part of the trail? What good is that
Have
end
a
of
trail
it
to
going to be?
vagabond.
Well, you can still get you from a residential neighborhood to the park. And you can still swing out onto the paved shoulder. You can still proceed on the, there are trails that will take you right to the center of the state park already in existence. So you could continue on in the undeveloped trails and then come back out at the tunnel and jump back on the trail at that point.
Okay. Anybody else? So I guess maybe everybody think about it, think it over, and I guess discuss it at next month's meeting, Pat?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then next on the discussion, I had handed out a draft 2026-2027 budget at last month's meeting. Supervisor Radke wanted me to ask, do the board members feel that we need to have study sessions on the budget, or any changes, or is everybody okay with the budget? What's everybody's feelings on it? I'll start with Mr. Biondo.
I always think a study session is a good idea, but I leave it to the rest of the board.
Sherry?
I'm with Paul. I'd kind of like to, because lots of times I miss things, somebody else picks it up, makes me think separately about it or differently about it and that. And not at a board meeting, not at one of our regular board meetings. I'd like to have a session.
It's June will probably be when we're going to want to pass it.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Merrick?
I'm happy with the budget, but if we want to do a work session or study session, I would not be opposed to that. I'm just not a huge cheerleader for it at this point. I think we've got a pretty good budget presented by the supervisor and the department heads that put into it.
Mr. McDonald?
I didn't realize you handed out the proposed budget at the last meeting. I'm going crazy trying to find last year's budget all day. So I will.
You could have asked
look
Judy
at
if
my
she'd have printed it
record.
for you.
I would go along with the study session, especially since I haven't had a chance to.
Okay, and Mr. Baganowski?
There's nothing exceptional going on, so I don't think we need a study session, but I'm fine.
Okay, so next thing on the agenda is going to be, we probably need to pick a date so that we can at least get it going. Probably,
Hey, we could do it on the 19th after Smash Burgers.
I'm going to say, do you guys want to try and go for that week of, like, the 26th, 27th, 28th?
I'm not available the 28th.
What's wrong with this, what he just said?
I'm going to be out of town.
On the
Perfect, we'll do it
19th?
on the 19th. Just kidding, Sherry.
Sherry, you've missed all of them so far.
I miss everything.
Or we could do,
18th?
are you in town the 18th? The 20th? Well, what the heck? I didn't get invited on this vacation.
Stroke victim again.
Oh. How does everybody look for the 26th?
That'll work for me.
That's a Monday or a Tuesday?
That's a Tuesday.
The Tuesday after Memorial Day.
Be fine for me.
We'll have to go, we've got planning commission that night at 6
Let's do it
o'clock.
in the afternoon.
So are you guys available where we could meet like at 4?
We can do it at
Can we
town
do
hall.
can we do it earlier and do a lunch?
Again?
Yes, I like
No.
our food. We cook really well.
So let's do the 26th, and how about if we do 4 o'clock?
As long as we're out by 5, I got it, my dad's birthday.
It shouldn't take long, so let's do May
Perfect.
26th at 5 PM, or 4
4.
PM. Here at the Golden Fellowship Hall. What I'll do is I will email out updated budget for everybody so that you can see where we are at currently for the totals. The amounts are already filled in for the 26-27 budget. So this will just give you the new totals of where we're at for this current year.
Are we going to be here or at the hall?
We could do it at the hall.
We can do it at the hall.
We need to remember we've got to post it here that we're having the meeting at the hall,
The hall.
So we'll do up at the Township Hall.
in the election room.
Yep.
It's got carpet.
Do we need to do a motion for that? Since it's the study
I'll make a
session?
motion to have a study session.
Attend, and then you can call it.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know, do we know our schedule?
It is now.
If Judy says so, it will happen.
Because it's harder to change what we said.
Exactly. Okay.
So he can call the meeting without us having to,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder to change if we said it.
And then he can't make it. Exactly.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. Anything else under discussion? Mr. McDonald?
Just on behalf of the DDA, we would like to thank the fire department very, very much for cleaning our statues that were covered with oak pollen and dirt and grime.
And Roy.
Worked very hard at that, and we are grateful.
Roy helped with that too, Pat.
Yep.
Roy did it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Merrick. I do
All
not
Roy.
have any correspondence. Does anybody else have correspondence?
Oh, I just want to add that the library, we had Mary Jo, Dr. Hartwick spoke. The amount of people that are attending the library for the last several months has been phenomenal. That parking lot is full 3/4 of the time we're at the office. And if I come in during the week or on the weekend, it's pretty packed too.
Yeah. They actually need a bigger parking lot.
Also, I want to thank Andy. I see where he's posted the construction of the road out on good job. It was, and it's,
I think the more information we get out to the public, the less calls we get in the office. I think Mary Jo's getting 20 to 30 calls a day yet, wanting us to stop the construction, speed the construction up, go out and ticket people, because, you know, I can hand out tickets.
well, visitors are using the site, so.
Okay, next on the agenda, thank you all who have hung on there with us, is the final public comment. If anybody would like to stand up, give their name, address, and you have 3 minutes.
Jill Coverdell, again, 5648 Runwood Way. Just a follow-up to my initial public comment, and for the board to realize, the payment processor that you voted on to put in place is a subcontractor to BS&A called Stripe. And on page 1 of the agreement that was in your packet, it refers to the Stripe Connected Account Agreement and the Stripe Privacy Policy. Those would both be 2 critical documents to get, because they're probably going to discuss what would happen in the case of a breach or any type of liability. And secondly, I think that it would be very prudent that, again, compare what people have been charged through the invoice cloud for a transaction versus this. If this is an increase, which I think it is in a few cases, that's clearly communicated to people before they start paying the summer taxes. And to not just have it be in 4-point font on the tax bill, but to have it be a little bit larger. Because I know the ACH is higher. I think the percentage on the credit card is also higher. And you don't want to irritate your residents.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Caskey, Jr.?
You were so quiet for so long. I'm glad you're back, sir.
We've missed you.
Greg Caskey, 11711 US Highway 31. I guess this is part of some of the confusion with the parking on J. Matty Parkway and in general. I mean, I know that the farmer's market had an issue where they had to explain what they were gonna do with parking in order to have the fire, or to have the farmer's market. I know the recent ophthalmology place over here also had to do the same thing. If they can't handle the parking for their event, why are they allowed to have the event? There's already parking signs on that road as well, no parking signs. This is what happens when we allow certain things to happen, and it's been going on. I lived on James Kennedy Parkway 13 years ago, and it was an issue, and it was always a problem. People would stop right in front of you while you're driving home, jerk off to the side of the road. It was always an issue, and I didn't understand it then, and I don't understand it now. This is what happens when we're not clear on what the laws are and what we're doing. Also, the officers and the state troopers, they got a grant to be out here while this construction is going on. And I'm trying to figure out, if fines are double in a construction area, doesn't that become a self-licking ice cream cone? Why isn't it being funded by that if that's the case? We should, I mean, the grant at first, fine, but then the rest of the situation. I have been passed back in the Mud Lake area. And there's nobody that, I mean, I go through there at all times of the day, all over the place. And there's sometimes they're there and it's great, but sometimes they're not. I don't understand why we don't have more of a presence while this issue is happening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All righty, that concludes. I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:29.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.